It is about differentiating yourself from everybody else. And so if someone were to start out their about section saying, I have 20 plus years of experience with this, the people who are reading it just can't relate with that because it sounds like something that's on a resume. So that's one of the things that we try to do with when we teach what to put in the about section is just have a conversation and tell us your story. Tell us your differentiators. But at the beginning, we need to relate with you so that we click that see more. Before we get into everything else. So it's really the storytelling part of it because you get thousands of characters to use. So you might as well use it and tell the story, tell a little bit more about yourself because it's the about section.
Yeah, and so one of the things that you that I picked up from you is it's okay to share a little bit of your local interest or your personal interest, right? So I was afraid to do that because on LinkedIn it's worldwide. I want to be able to show that I want to talk to people everywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you have that you're a Bills fan,
Yep,
and that's a very local thing. So
it
why
is.
does that work?
It is because people can then relate on a totally different level. Perhaps they might not need LinkedIn services, but they relate with the fact that, oh, she's a Bills fan and she's proud of it and she's posting about it on LinkedIn. So there's different types of elements to every single human. And one human is not one dimensional. You're multi-dimensional. And so you can be multi-dimensional on LinkedIn too.
So you said that you said that if I try to start an about section saying that I have 20 years experience in a given field, that people can't relate to that. That's kind of
Right.
hard for me to believe. And you said that it reads like a resume. Isn't LinkedIn kind of like a resume for
It's
me?
not.
Oh.
It's not. It's not. Gone are the days where it's just a place for people looking jobs, looking for jobs, I should say. It is a really big networking event. There's now 1 billion people on LinkedIn, and people are on there to learn. They're on there to build relationships. Some are looking for their next opportunity. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of those, but it's not just for looking for jobs. So it's really you gotta write it in a way where it's really captivating for everybody, regardless of what their end goal is, of why they're on your profile, that they can relate with a piece of it, just a little piece. That's all it takes.
Okay. So then you started coaching me on engagement. And so I hear you say, let's capture whoever lands on our page. The story writing hook helps, and it's okay to get some help with that if you're not the best at it, right? Um, so when we're talking about engagement, though, I heard you say on a talk recently said that, okay, let's say I've got somebody to my profile. Now, Deanna, you're going to start helping me with what are people looking at my profile. And so the next two pieces are engagement and content. Um, but when we're looking at engagement first, you say that you go out of your way to be a part of the conversations that you want to have. What do you mean by that, and how do you find them?
Yeah, that's my secret sauce. That's my secret sauce. That someone will actually have to book a call with me to find out a little bit about how that works. But I can tell you the metaphor I use is if it's a networking event and you are treating LinkedIn like a big networking event. Imagine you're walking in and you're seeing signs hanging over those conversations telling you what everybody's talking about. In real life, it doesn't happen, but on LinkedIn, it can. And you can then go to those conversations and shake hands because you know that those are the conversations that you know you want to be part of. And I teach you how to do that on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I like the way that you say that on LinkedIn you can get into conversations that you might not have a foot in the door for
Right.
otherwise.
Right. Because it's
Okay.
not just about your home feed. It's not just scrolling through and seeing what LinkedIn is actually choosing to show you. It is actually going out of your way to say, these are the conversations that I want to see. These are the conversations that I want to be part of. And it's all about the strategic engagement.
Yes. So what if I don't know what to say right away? Let's say I start finding some conversations. Do you have some tips for what are some things that I could have in my back pocket to start conversations?
Right. I think that the commenting should be a lot about talking to someone in person. So if you think about what you would say to that person if you were right in front of them, it makes it less daunting to comment because you know exactly what you want to say. You don't go to a networking event and just give a thumbs up because that would be really odd. That would be really strange. So it's all about having the conversation. If one of the things that I use when I'm writing comments is I'll pick out my favorite part of someone's post. And I may even copy and paste it into a comment. And then I say why that's my favorite part. That is a good starting point for someone as they're commenting more and as they're getting out of that 3 to 4 word comment structure and they're trying to write a little bit more. That's a good way to get out of it.
Okay, that's really golden advice. And do you look for certain things in a post? What is it about a post that attracts you to comment on somebody's post?
I think it's all about I got to relate with you. I got to relate with I saw a post about someone that has hired 10 different coaches and I saved it because I'm trying to figure out why someone would need 10 different coaches. And I'm like, I don't, and they turned it into a poll. And I'm like, huh. So it's all about how can I relate with that? But then the majority of the people who voted in that poll was like in a 1 to 5. So you don't need necessarily all of the coaches. It's all about being strategic with who you hire. You hire people because they're a good fit for you and that their end goal matches your end goal. That's what it's all about. So it's all about finding things that you can really relate to. And I think I just wrote out the comment that I'm going to put out there because you got to find your people. And you got to find the people that see it from your perspective and are willing to help you reach that goal.
Mm. Well, I found quite a few new friends since looking for conversation. So I have to say it's fun. You know,
Yes.
that is something that I didn't quite expect because I'm that person, I don't know what to say. And I've even said to folks that have been on this podcast before that I don't feel educated enough to really comment on the things that they are talking about in their business. Can I just send you a heart or a thank you for posting? And so sometimes that works too if you just have a few kind words, but to get the
Right.
practice is a big deal. And
It is.
now it's fun. I want to go find out what are people talking about. I can figure out a little bit more about who is active on LinkedIn. And before I get off track, let me go into content. So that's the last part of the strategy, right?
Yeah.
So I find some conversations, making some friends. Now, what do I do on my page so when those people come back, it's interesting for them to talk back to me?
The content is really about what are the types of things that you want people to know. And it's really where the trust factor comes in. So you have to earn that trust when it comes to content. So you could take them behind the scenes and ask yourself, who do I want to start conversations with? Because having the end goal being that specific person, here is who my target audience is, that helps significantly when you're able to identify that right off the beginning, because you know who you're talking to and you know what, so then you'll have a better idea. Okay, well, if this is my target audience, These are the types of things that I want to talk about. Who am I trying to attract? What are the conversations